Eamon Khan here, 4 seconds out, pleasure to be in the company of Dean Whyte. Dean, we've just seen the press conference between Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois. A little bit of back and forth between the two of them, both of them promising to flatten each other.
Of course, it's heavyweight boxing, man. I echo what they're saying. Someone's definitely going to sleep. Don't blink, someone is going to sleep. Not sure who, but I mean, it's heavyweight boxing. I think, obviously, I sound a bit crazy because I always go against Daniel Dubois, to be honest. And he's proved me wrong on many occasions, but obviously Fabio's Dylan's fighter and so we're part of the team and stuff. So I do normally lean towards Fabio. Tremendous career he's had, coming from white collar to become the WBO world champion and stuff. Who could have imagined, do you know what I mean? So I think it's a fairy tale. Does the fairy tale continue? I think I think it's a big 50-50 fight for both guys. I think it's about who lands. I think what I would say, hopefully, I'm sure, Ben Davis and the guys, the team they should kind of understand and know what's going on because, some of the fights, if you look at the Fraser Clark fight, the Hooney fight, Fabio Wardley took a lot of punishment early in those fights and he cannot afford to mess around with a big puncher like Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois has got a hell of a jab, big right hand, and you just don't want to be on the end of that kind of concussive big punches. I understand why they say they feel like they're going to flatten him, but at the same time, equally, he rallies when he gets punched as well. So he's got that grit, that dog in him, to go and bang out. And I think that is a good, we've seen, like I'm saying, I'm not saying that, I wouldn't say that because boxing's a hard sport and he's done great. I wouldn't say he's a quitter. Obviously in the Joe Joyce fight, he got bashed up, broke his orbital. In the USYK fight, he got bashed up. It's just boxing. It's heavyweight boxing like that, man. It's the hurt business. So I think, I hear where Michael's crying about critter and stuff, but I think equally, it's the hurt business. When you're getting punched by these big guys over 17, 18 stones, whatever it is, it's going to hurt. So I think for both guys, I think it's a big, solid 50-50 fight. And I just think about who sets out their stool the best early, who sets out the best game plan. And I just feel like if Fabio's not right in front of Daniel, I think he's got a great chance because he's the faster man, the more lighter speed. And he's just got the momentum with him, really, when you think about it. The better wins coming off the good wins right now. Daniel's coming off a loss with USYK and stuff like that. So, I mean, he was on a great run when he was beating all the other guys previously. But, I mean, right now, yeah, it's a great fight, man. You know what I mean? I'm hoping to be there. It's all there in Manchester, though. I don't know. Let's see how I feel if I want to travel.
You covered a lot there, and we'll talk about game plans. When it came to the game plan for Anthony Joshua, who's also shared at that point the same trainer, Ben Davis and Lee Wiley, for the fight with Daniel Dubois, they wanted him to throw the uppercut because they thought that Daniel Dubois was susceptible to that shot. Turns out that he wasn't, and Daniel Dubois ended up knocking out Anthony Joshua. Do you think Fabio Wardley is going to try the same thing against Daniel? Do you think he's susceptible to that shot?
I think most boxers are because sometimes they overreach. Do you know what I mean? Uppercut is one of the best shots there are, and if you can time it well, it's very destructive. But at the same time, it leaves you open. Do you know what I mean? It leaves you very open and vulnerable. So I don't know. I don't know what their game plan is. They made a mistake there. I think equally, I think they shouldn't change anything. I think what they more need to work on is their defense and being defensively sound and not leaving the door, as it were, be open so much so Fabio takes the punishment early. Because like I said, if you go back and look at those fights, he took a lot of punishment, a lot of those fights early and came back and got the stoppages. You know what I mean? It seems to be one of these warrior traits, you know what I mean? The fighter, Rocky Marciano, the old school tear up, blood and gore everywhere and then comes back and wins. And they're like, great fights for history in boxing, and I mean, especially for the UK. But in this fight, I just don't see him. He shouldn't be trying to take those punches from Daniel Dubois at all.
Has Fabio fought a puncher like Dubois before?
I'd say no. I'd say he hasn't faced anyone who punches big and as concussive as Daniel Dubois. I mean, Parker was a good puncher, respectful puncher as a heavyweight, sharp, speed and stuff like that, but not as concussive. What I'd say is, we've seen that guy, there was a cruiserweight guy, like the small heavyweight. Remember the one that knocked Daniel down about 4 times? Remember that guy?
Kevin Lorena?
Yeah. So the speed does kind of work. The speed kind of... We've seen that the faster guys with speed give Daniel trouble sometimes. So it'd be interesting. Because obviously with him and Joshua, it's two big old lummoxes, big old brutes trying to get each other out of there. I think this will be a big brute against a smaller brute with a bit more speed, but can whack as well. So I don't know.
Do you see a weakness in the armour in the fact that Daniel has left Don, gone to Tony Simmons, and then come back to Don Charles? Because that's what the team are playing on, that there's a reason for that, and that's maybe a weak point in the team.
Do you know what? Look, I get it's all mind games. It's all mind games. All this whole thing is mind games. everyone wants to get a little bit of an inch or a yard or whatever to say, we've got this against you because of your mental capacity of weakness or you've shown signs of weaknesses. And I hear that game. But does it play a part on the night? We can only wait to tell if it does. Being around and around and around, going to different trainers and moving around, sometimes that is a negative thing, and that's something on yourself and how you, maybe as a person, dealing with certain stuff. Joshua's gone from different camps. Maybe sometimes that's helping, sometimes not. But I think what we've seen, Daniel Dubois performed at his best and had his best career wins with Don Charles.
Speaking of yards, Conor Benn has gone and ditched Eddie Hearn's yard, and he's gone over to Dana Whyte and UFC. A lot of talk about loyalty and whether he should have been loyal to Eddie Hearn after he stuck by him during the Ped case across the Eubank Junior 2 fights. What do you think about it?
Yeah, do you know what? Money talks and bullshit walks, man. They say if you want loyalty, get a dog. But look, I hear his element. I hear his element on his family, and the money was irresistible. But I felt like for what Matchroom and Eddie Hearn has done for him, I equally feel that he should have given them an opportunity to get close enough to the same value of the money and given them the opportunity. Say, for example, if it was out a few million and they could have made it up, maybe there's a way that he could have stuck with them, because when that's all said and done and Turkey Al-Sheikh and all these guys have disappeared off into the sunset, these are the guys that you're going to want to come back and cover you and look after you again. But now you've lost a lot of fans, because a lot of fans now are quite upset. They think, well, you know, with the egg sensation and all that cape of what was going on a few years, Eddie was in the media taking a lot of flack right behind your back, but he's saying he still wants Eddie in his camp. So I don't know. It's a hard one. 15 million is a lot of money. I don't know how close Eddie was getting to that number, but I personally I'd rather stick with the dog or whatever as an analogy I'd use that I know. You know, the person that has had my back. Money is one thing, but you can't buy family or friendship and loyalty. So, and I get it. If it was only a few million in a pot, he could have worked it out and got that back some other way. And talked to Eddie and said, well, look, how do you suggest we can work it that we'd get this back later on down the line? You know, like, I don't know. But he should have given me an opportunity to have a conversation equally, or just said, look, let me do this fight, and when I win this belt, I'm going to fight these guys, win this belt, and I'll come back to you and we can crack on as usual. But I don't know. Look, it's easy me talking. I'm not the one getting offered all this money. As I've just seen, Zoffa just signed USYK as well. I don't know what kind of money they're fucking throwing at him as well. Listen, there's going to be a lot of heads turning, and there's going to be a lot of guys probably going to be in that same little position where everyone's saying their loyalty has been tested, because they're going to want to jump ship and sign with Zoffa, because the Saudi money's going over there. Seems it's left our shores, mate.
Last thing, what about the Black Box game? What's happening? What's the latest with these shows?
Global, we haven't done any shows. I've had a bit of time off. Just going through a lot of stuff at the minute, and it's slowly coming together. It's all good. We're getting there. But look, Alfie's fighting this Saturday for the British title at York Hall, so we're still working. And I think it's a collective with Xavier and myself and Alfie, you know, working, as you know, from building him from nothing at the Tolworth and getting him to this level. Now he's fighting for a vacant British title. You know, the fighter is a good guy, looks pretty competent, southpaw. It's always, I think Alfie fights a lot of southpaw, so we should call him the Southpaw Slayer. But look, Saturday night we're going to see. And then, you know, I've got Sammy Henry, former Sammy McKay, that I look after and help as well with, and trying to get him fights. He's fighting, I think, for a WBC Thailand title soon as well. So, you know, I've got only the two boys, so I've not really pushed the shows as much. We're probably looking to sign new talent. But look, the boys I've got are competent and wanting to fight for titles and are doing stuff, and they want to listen to me guide their career. Some people, look, I've done it. We've got proof in the pudding. What we've got works. You know what I mean? I don't know for anyone else, but I'm saying on this small stage, there's not a lot of guys that I know that fight and are built and fight for a British title from this kind of small level. And we've done it this way, and we've done it our own way. And hopefully we win this title Saturday and we can go and look about and see what's on offer.
It's been a pleasure time. Appreciate it. Thanks for being so good to see you as well.